spend the night. Woo! Yeah, yeah. Oh. Welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today, we got a few things to report on. Some more serious than others, but we're gonna roll right into it, man. Hopefully everybody's having a good Friday. But if you could, before we get into this, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man. So first things first, we're gonna talk about is I just seen recent news that the Cowboys are interested. It's been multiple teams, but I've seen that the Cowboys are interested in making a trade or doing a trade for Haason Reddick. Now, I didn't even look to see like what type of draft picks that the Cowboys or I guess maybe trade Parsons. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like position for position, but my thing is this: I really do want to keep Haason Reddick. I know he's going to be 30 years old come September and stuff like that, but I feel as though he still can make the impact. Okay. Now, I watched the interview with Howie Roseman. He was speaking to Chris Sims for whatever reason. But I will say this, and before I even get into this point, shout out to Howie Roseman, okay? He shook my man hand, but didn't shake Chris Sims' hands. Now, he heard what Chris Sims said about Jalen Hurts over these last couple of years, and maybe he shook his hand off camera, I don't know, but that was very, very respectable on his part, Howie Roseman. So, listen, man. I know we get, we critique, everybody over here, but I got a lot of respect for Howie Roseman. I got a lot of respect for these players on this team. But a gesture like that just tells me more about that person, Howie Roseman, than it does about, Chris Sims. So, and Chris Sims was, kissing up to him and all that. But my thing is this. When he did the interview, this is about 2-3 days ago now, but Howie Roseman did this interview with Chris Sims in his podcast, and was pretty much saying, he was expressing that he did want to keep Haason Reddick, but the overall mentality, and it's been this way, is Howie is, remind me of myself, he cheap. He wants a bang for his buck. Now, offering Haason Reddick, what was it, 20 to 22, 23 million a year for 2-3 years, whatever the case may be, I think is a decent contract, but then you also got to think, we're trying to pretty much retool the team. Not rebuild, so it's gonna take money to fill these holes. So me rolling into my next point, Kevin Byard got cut today, so that freed up $14 million in cap space, which is bringing us around to like 42, 45 million. Now we talked about other ways that we can raise the cap with extending players and maybe cutting them or whatever the case may be, restructuring deals. Whatever the case may be. So Kevin Byard is not with us, but I do want to, shout out to Kevin Byard, because I know people are sitting there saying, and I probably said it too, he when he first got here, that he wasn't looking like how he needed to look. A Hawk. But it wasn't looking how he needed to look. And oh boy. Yeah. I'm sorry. Just Hawk out there, boy, and the birds done flew away. So, but my thing is this. Howie is just trying to find I don't want to say it, like I said, a bang for his buck. So the best way I feel as though that he can do that and accomplish that is probably either going through the draft, find a younger talent, because you think those rookie contracts about 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, get some high upside guys on that end. I really do think that they need to concentrate on the safety position and the linebacker position. And I was saying safety before they cut Byard. That's probably going to be a heavy sought after position for us, such as linebacker too. But I think the safety, this is just as important as the linebackers are. The safeties are important. Now, we talked about the cornerbacks. I think cornerback situation, the corners we got now within Eli Ricks, and I know I named the younger guys because I don't know what's going to happen with Bradbury. I don't know what's going to happen with Darius Slay, because he done came out and said some stuff too that we'll talk about later on. But it's just some different things that Howie had said in that interview, though. I know I keep getting on topic, but Howie Roseman said in that interview that made me look at how they might try to reconstruct this team. I know, like I said, I know Howie is, he's the money guy. He knows how to figure out these salary caps and these contracts and things like that. But he is not going to pay Haason Reddick that kind of money. That's why he cut Kevin Byard for 14 million, and then he really didn't produce. Now, like I said, it could have been a scheme. It really could have, because you can't really assess what we really saw this year on the defense, because you got two different coordinators throughout the year, and then the players everybody just looked out of whack. So even the line wasn't getting home. So yeah, I think it was more factors than just players in that situation, but. Howie is looking to get younger. He said he wants to get younger players in here, develop them the right way, which I was saying before, because they asked him about the hiring of the different coaches and stuff like that. But one thing I will give to Howie, and I know people were calling, maybe, and I probably was saying the same thing when he did the Rager, however you say his last name, draft pick and all that. I'm just like, bro, what is this man doing? But I have to give credit where credit is due. He's seen where he's seen his flaws, and he made do on them for the most part. Now, these 1-year deals that we've been getting, these last couple of seasons do benefit us here and there, but I think we need to start looking at getting, like I said, these younger guys up in here so we can keep them for 2 + 3 years and get them acclimated to the system. So we're just not cycling through people every offseason. I think more or less it's like a consistency thing, even with the coaches and developmental things with players. But I think with the hiring of all these different coaches, I think that's really going to show, especially with Vic Fangio and all the reports that came out about him being like pretty much a hard ass when it comes to learning his defense and being and refining the details in the plays. So I think this year and I don't know if it's going to take a year or whatever the case may be, but I do think we'll see a turnaround, with our play. But the players that we're trying to bring in, they got to be dogs, man. So let's roll into that. So I seen that the Philadelphia Phillies, Lord have mercy, the Philadelphia Eagles have been at the combine talking to different players. They talked to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. He spoke highly. But where they go with how they pick. So I think, and I don't want to say this wrong. I mean, but it's just my opinion, so I can say this wrong. Even if it is wrong, but I really do think, like I said, the safety linebackers too. But that safety position is going to be heavily needed because Sidney Brown don't come back to October. Okay. Now you just got rid of Kevin Byard. All right. And I don't even, do we have another safety on the team? Is it Maddox? Or he's playing the corner out there, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he's about to leave too. So that is going to be a spot that we need a safety and we need depth at. Linebackers, we got Nakobe Dean. I don't know if Zach Cunningham's still with us. I don't know what they're going to do with him. You got Hassan Reddick for another year if he does decide to stay. And then you got Twin, probably going to play outside. Sam, I don't know, outside linebacker, whatever the case may be. So we have depth there. I think more or less is going to be what Hassan does, because if he ends up leaving and how he can keep that bread, oh man, he's definitely going to go out and go get he's probably going to draft a linebacker, and depending on how the draft goes, draft a linebacker and then probably go out and get another linebacker, and he could pay him money too. If Reddick leaves, you got Sweat, you still got on the edge. If you want to try Nolan on the edge, you can put him there, but it's I don't know, man, it's getting real. So I also seen reports about DeAndre Swift linked to the Commanders. Oh my God. I don't like that, man, because I really do want to retain DeAndre Swift. But also going back to the interview with Howie Roseman talking to Chris Sims, he speaks about Howie's thing is these lines. He loves the defensive line and the offensive line, and he thinks, or they think as an organization, that if the line is good, they can put almost any running back there, and they can accomplish 1,000 yards, if not close to or surpass that. Right? It's pretty much what he was saying. Now, if you're asking me, that could be somewhat true, but you have to look at the talent that you had back there. Like, all due respect, yeah, Miles Sanders probably looked crazy this year, but he play and the O-line plays a part. I do know that, but my thing is this: Miles Sanders is still a better talent than like a Kenny Gainwell. You feel what I'm saying? So my thing is, when he was with the Eagles, he did his thing. Same thing with DeAndre Swift. good line, but DeAndre Swift still had the talent. And then we didn't even fully utilize that. As much as they talked about one that had these explosive plays and all this other stuff, they did not utilize DeAndre Swift the way they could have, like the 49ers utilized Christian McCaffrey. So I don't know, man. Because like I said before in one of my other videos, that when they had first signed or first acquired DeAndre Swift, they were talking about extending him, but then you never heard no more talks about that. And it's very rare that the Eagles even pay a running back, and with the position getting devalued at a rapid rate, I don't really see, like, I see them probably again getting somebody out the draft that they can probably get 2, 3, 4 years out of. And go from there, because they're trying to save money. Howard's trying to save money whichever way he can until he has to pay the right players the money. So, and you got to remember, we got to talk about extended Smitty. Got to talk about extended Smitty. We got some things like that we need to to take care of. So, also with the older players, Cox and Pauls and Kelsey, how he's giving them as much time as they need, but at the same time, it can't be too much time, because I'm sitting there saying I can't say we, because I'm a fan. We in this organization need an answer, because, are we going to move Cam Jurgens to center? Is he ready for that yet? Or are they going to draft somebody else? Or, you know what I mean? So it's different things that they're going to have to tackle depending on the decisions that these players make, these older players, like even Hassan Reddick. So I'm thinking, like, within the next week or two, because it's March 1st, so, and the free agency is kicking off now. So, yeah, man, it's going to be a different team per usual, but I think Howard's going to try to clear up as much cap space as he can and go after some of these players. But at the same time, there are other teams with just as much, if not more, cap space that can offer these teams deals. Now, like I said before in my other video, with the Cowboys, they might have to pay Dak $60 million. Now, I'm not sitting there saying that's going to affect them as a team, but you paying somebody that kind of money, that's going to be kind of crazy to try to bring in or acquire talent on top of that. So we'll see how it goes, but for the most part, what I've been seeing with the combine, I haven't been watching all of them, but I did watch like some of the linebackers or the defense yesterday, and La Lewis from UCLA, Lavuvu. I can't say my man's name, but you know what I'm talking about. My man is a beast. I had another guy on here I saw, and he moved pretty well. Let me see. I wrote it down. I thought I wrote it down. Oh, that's the wide receivers I had. My fault, y'all. Here we go. All right. Braden Fisk, his name was. He ran a 4.740 yesterday. I was like, okay, I like the way he moved this, that, and the third. And then as I've been watching other content creators, I've been seeing other people, say other guys. Now, like I said, I still haven't even got a chance to watch some of the film on some of these players. I seen film on Chop. I seen film on was it the guy from Toledo? Was it Toledo? I seen a couple. If you go back in one of my recent videos, I talked about the different free agents, not free agents, but the draft prospects that I was looking at, and it was like 3-4 players at the time. But as time's been going on, I see that the safety from Georgia's on the radar of the Eagles. I can't think of his name right now. Who else? I seen this was something that I didn't see nobody talk about. Now y'all know me and Baby Cuzzo, Jalen Carter, right? Jalen posted on his story, right? The interior defensive lineman from Georgia. Now, to me, that kind of sounds like a Howie move, bro, because he, like I just said, he loves that line, offense and defense. He loves the line. So, and if Fletcher Cox is leaving and whoever else, Brandon Graham, and you know what I mean. But we still, and they still got players. Like I said, they like at the line. The Eagles got the depth at the line. If you asking me, they got the depth. Can they expand on the depth? Oh, of course. Because you got to think some of these players are going to be up for contract. They're going to leave, like Javon Hargrave, whatever the case may be, when they get paid, whatever. So my thing is this: if Jalen Carter's trying to tell us something, or trying to tell Howie something, or just like they did the Snead thing, and they were trying to get Snead to come to Philly. I don't know if that's even going to happen anymore because he's franchise tag. But if Howie's looking for an interior defensive lineman, that's probably going to be the first pick. All due respect, because that's just what he goes for. He probably feels as though like he can get a linebacker, but my thing is we've got 4 or 5 picks in the draft this year, like 2 second-round picks, whatever the case may be. So he might be able to pick up a linebacker and a safety in the second round if I'm not mistaken. So if they're there. Now, I don't know what quality of player he going, I don't know if it's Jeremiah Trotter or the boy from Texas A&M or whoever, Lalulu, whatever. I don't know whoever it could be. But I do think if it really comes down to it, I think we need a safety and not no press safety. We need a coverage safety. Same thing with the linebackers, because if they're running this scheme, you need people that can cover area. Long players. I'm talking like your linebackers need to be 6'3". Nakobe Dean like 6'5", 5'11" or something like that. I don't know if he's the ideal person at that position, but you want somebody like a Fred Warner or both of them both of them, like they are they're paws, but they're long specimens. So you want them to be able to cover ground, be agile, and be able to move them hips and stuff like that, so we can cover these different zones. But my thing is, like Kool-Aid is more of a press. I don't see why we would go waste our number 1 pick on the press coverage guy if we're not going to play press. Now I did see in some of the film study with Fangio's defense that he can get, he can disguise a man-on-man coverage with players and stuff like that. So maybe they do go for a press coverage guy. I don't know, man, but I'm thinking like you probably want somebody like it's more of a zone defense. You probably want zone players that can play the zone. You know what I mean, or play their zone pretty well. Even how we talking about the cornerback situation with Bradbury, he even said he was like, and he was giving, I kind of gave him not, I don't want to say the benefit of doubt, but he was sitting there saying he's like it's a hard. We had to move Bradbury out of his true position, and he got cooked all year. So, and that was no fault of his. Well, it was fault of his, but my thing is Howie didn't have the right pieces. Like you know what I mean? Like that falls on Howie. So you didn't have the right pieces. The nickel corner was a prime damn near the whole year, and then they tried to bring Maddox back, and he looked bad, and it just looked terrible all year. So as much as we want to blame, don't get me wrong, Bradbury deserves a lot of this criticism. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but bro was getting cooked all season, man. So it's like what is that, a chipmunk? Oh, it's a bird. But it's just like, and I understand people have off seasons. I know he's still under contract. I'm not sitting there saying get rid of him, but if push come to shove and they gotta do what they gotta do, they just gotta do what they gotta do, man. We appreciate what he's done and all that, but if I'm Howie, I'm looking at any which way I can make this team better and how I can acquire the most money, you know what I mean, from these players. So if it's me cutting them or extending and cutting them or whatever the case may be, that's what Howie's going to do. And like I said, if Vic thinks that Bradbury's a weak link in his defense, then he will say that to Howie, and Howie probably will figure out a way to move on from him. And people are calling for Darius Slay to be going and stuff like that. And my whole beef with Darius Slay is, I ain't even no beef, but my whole thing with Darius Slay is this. Like I got a podcast now and all that too. Of course, he's way bigger than me. But it's like you can say whatever you want, you know what I mean? But like you got to be careful how you say things to the fan base, because we don't get me wrong, we love Darius Slay, but you say certain things to us, we're gonna look at you like, or say things, we gonna say what we feel. So he comes out and says some strange things, and then wonders why we flip out, or we say the things that we say. We just want our team, you know what I'm saying? Like being an Eagles fan, we just want our team, like any other fan base, to win. And for us to have the pieces and the talent that we have, there should be no reason why we have a collapse like that at the end of the season. And there's still they keep giving the same answer. It was just like, things just fell apart. Though we could hit a switch, the switch didn't hit. So it is what it is, man. But we'll see, man. We'll see what Howie does. We'll see what the Eagles organization does. But there's still, I heard some things about analytics. I heard, you know what I mean? I still hear stuff about that, which I know they're going to implement. But it's like, man, I understand we're trying to stay up ahead of the curve, but try and lean on some of our own understanding opposed to just the computers and stuff like that. Because I don't want to miss an opportunity, like if they use the analytics for the draft and miss an opportunity to grab a player that we really could use, and they go off of, on paper he looks good in these areas. Like, no. You need to be at that combine looking at these players, with the different coaches and getting your eyes on the players. I don't care about no paper. I don't even understand that. Like, to look at a piece of paper and be like, check the stats. He good here. He good. No, I need to see in real time what this player looks like in real time. That's why I said I was going to go and watch some of these videos of some of the players that the Eagles are interested in, because that's how I do my assessment. Like, I sit there and I watch a player. Like, not to get off topic, but when Carson Wentz first came to the Eagles, right? I remember I was working. That's when I used to work. I call it working for the man. When I used to work, me and my man Dennis was talking, and he was telling me about, he's like, you watched the Eagles game? And at the time I hadn't watched the first two games, or it was either the first game or the second game. I didn't get to watch it because I was doing something, right? So now I got a chance to watch Carson Wentz. So when I tell you, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching how he throws the ball, I said, yo, we got something. Now, it didn't pan out the way it did. We wanted it to. We did end up getting the Super Bowl out of him. You know what I mean? But I really did think that Carson Wentz was a really good pickup by the Eagles. Like, the way he could just throw the ball, his awareness skills and all that, man, kind of fearless. And it was just like, yo, he hit on something. So what is that? I'm sorry. It's got stuff going on out here in my backyard and all that, but so yeah, man. But I know Howie, and I know that the scouting team, when they talked about him last year, when I first started this, that's when I started getting in more into all this different, the analytics and how they go about scouting players and stuff like that. That they do have a pretty decent scouting team. But for the most part, I do think, like, I need you to hands-on see what's going on with these players, because paper is just not going to work for me. You know what I mean? So trying to make sure I'm not forgetting nothing else for y'all. I think that's pretty much it, man. So if there's anything else or any new updates, I'll let y'all know. I'll make another video. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to catch some today too, but I can watch the replays on YouTube. They do have the NFL Combine replays on YouTube. But I'm going to try to watch the Combine some more, see what other players stick out. Like I said, I got the PFF app. I know they usually update that too, day to day. So I'll check that, see if anything sticks out to me, and I'll come back with another video for y'all as always. It is Niall from the No Cuss Sports Podcast, baby. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. With that being said, everybody have a good day, have a great weekend, and y'all stay safe. Peace.